Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are here in the office, and last night I received an email from someone who's been following me for a little while. And as I was reading this email, it's 3 pages long, very thorough. I thought, what a great teaching opportunity. So I want to go ahead and read this email in its entirety. I'm going to leave the person's name out of respect to them, and then I'm going to teach off this email because there's so many valuable lessons that are here. So today we get the Professor Rick look with the glasses as you get older. Sometimes you need things to be able to help you out here. So here's the email. It says, Rick, got your book in the mail the other day. Thank you. The thanks and your autograph was a nice touch. Funny how our emotion could be triggered by something so simple. I want to share a few things here with you, so this might be a bit lengthy. It's about you and my wife. Now, that's like a really cool way to start an email, especially to get you to want to read more. As I was reading this to Hannah earlier, she got this look on her face. Yeah, me too. But all worked out well in the end, I promise. Driving to my son's college football game, I was listening to you. My wife had fallen asleep and woke up to catch a small part of your podcast. When it ended, she asked, "Who is that?" I told her the brief version of your story, and she said you should just listen to him. After nearly 20 years of hearing me saying a million times to her, I am never done working on my music. As long as I am still here, I will never be finished. I do not lack for a work ethic. She gets it. As a result, she's endured countless hours of me explaining something I learned from a book, webinar, seminars, podcast, conferences, all in the spirit of learning the business. She has remained my greatest critic and most avid supporter, keeping me both grounded and reaching for the stars. She is a good egg. I sort of chuckled at her suggestion, explaining that you were just one voice, and there was so much information out there I couldn't just listen to you. My wife's attraction to you, and quite honestly mine, not in a weird way, was your pragmatic, direct, no BS, tell it like it is approach. My wife and I are very much the same way. We are unapologetically New Yorkers. That was in late August. You may remember that I had sent you an IG message around that time asking about some guys in Nashville. You confirmed they were a scam, as I suspected. I think it might have contributed to the podcast number 155 you did shortly after that touched on scams. I was grateful for your response, though in retrospect it might have been more of a test to see if you were true to your word about responding to people. The whole time, her words were still bouncing around in my head. You should just listen to him. She has an innate ability to just strip things down, eliminate the clutter and the noise. Simultaneously, I realized all those voices were paralyzing me. On that day, I made a decision, maybe the best of my musical career, which was to immerse myself into Barker World. I have a name now for my world. It's called Barker World. Thank you. And so on September 1st, I began at podcast number 1. And for the next 32 days, I listened to roughly 5 a day and took notes on every podcast right up to number 164. The yield was amazing. 90 takeaways, 14 around social media, 21 that I categorized as philosophical, common sense, or private logic. 19 were fan-related takeaways. 36 were music business related. Contacts, 81 other individuals who could develop, help, or teach me, some of whom I already knew, some I met for the first time through you. Other resources, 43 resources for me in podcasts, books, technology, websites. My time investment in listening and taking notes in total was about 50 plus hours over 32 days. It was well worth it. Thank you. I was humbled, as I had fancied myself pretty knowledgeable about the music business. Among my circle of local artists, I'm frequently the go-to person for how to do things right when it comes to the business side of things. Getting calls and emails for friends or friends of friends who I know, that I have an abundance mentality and I'm always willing to serve others in their desire to grow and learn. It is just the way that I've always been. Wow, did you ever school me? I'm interested in working with you at some point in the future, but recognize I have a lot to do before I wouldn't be wasting your time. I am a singer-songwriter. As I say in one of my songs, I ain't afraid to work. I am with you on not being a starving artist. I never believed in that. It is one of my preaching points to other artists. I am a working musician, a foot soldier, if you will. I'm a regional act, primarily New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, performing 200 nights a year for the past 20 years as a solo, duo, or with my full band. Anything from small cafes to festivals and dedicated music venues, I've supported some notable artists along that path. I am 5 albums in at this point, and meager sales and downloads both nationally and internationally. I'm streaming on most, if not all, platforms. I'm proud that my income, mostly from my performances, afforded me the ability to pay for my 2 boys to go to a private high school, along with my daughter, are all now in college. I have a strong work ethic. I know I have good music and talent. I realize now most of my challenges comes from a better, more current approach to the business end of the work. My fan base numbers suffer, however, though after my trip into Barker World, I have a far better understanding of why and, more importantly, what to do to remedy that. As a result of locking in with you, I've decided that my focus for the short term is threefold. 1, conquering my understanding of social media as a tool, improving my presence there, and to improve show attendance and buzz. Number 2, sync licensing, additional revenue streams for those tuition costs. And I'm assuming he's talking about college now. And number 3, improving my relationship and communication with my existing and now growing fan base. I'm truly grateful for all the insight you so willingly share. I'm swimming towards you. I am a huge fan of reciprocity. I have a few podcast ideas, more than a couple of insights from your body of work I could share if you are interested. I also have a few clarifying questions that I am not sure Professor Google can answer. It was a fun immersion into your world, and I look forward to expanding mine as a result. You're a good man, Rick Barker. The industry could use more like you. Be well. And he signed his name. So this was very thorough. First off, thank you for taking the time to document my podcast journey. Those are some fascinating numbers. Now, a couple things that stuck out in this email, and what I want to talk about right now is, too often, the thing that gets in your way as an artist, and I'm talking to everyone now, is yourself. There is only so much that myself or any of my colleagues can share in podcast, YouTube videos, Instagram posts, and Instagram stories. At some point, if you like what you hear from us, you need to come all in to our world. The fact that you had mentioned that I'm interested in working with you at some point in the future, but recognize I have a lot to do before I wouldn't be wasting your time, that's the wrong approach to take. It's like saying that you'll get a coach once you make it to the NFL. You'll start working with a coach after you make the team. Everyone who is successful, they start working in the beginning, whether you're going to university. I'll use golf for an example. Tiger Woods, one of the best golfers in the world, has a driving coach, has a strength and conditioning coach, has a nutritionist, has a putting coach. Matter of fact, these golfers are so good, but guess what? You never see them on the course alone. They have their caddy with them. Now, the caddy's not a better golfer than the golfer. The caddy is an extra set of eyes. A caddy is someone who can remind them of what it was like the last time they tried something. The caddy is someone who can help them adjust to whatever the situations are. Stop going at this alone. You've been doing it 20 years. You should have figured it out by now if you were going to figure it out on your own, but you haven't. You need to come all in. You need to make that investment right now. You need to get in to these management calls. You need to surround yourself with other artists that are pursuing the same things that you guys are pursuing. You need to become a part of some sort of community, but too often you think that you need to get to a certain level before you're attractive to me. I get paid for my services. Okay, so you're attractive to me if you're putting music out, you're treating it like a business, you just know that you need some help, you need some guidance, you need some direction. That's what's attractive to me. Somebody who shows up at ground zero, they're not ready for my management services. They need to understand the business, and I have educational pieces for them. They can also listen to the podcast. The podcast, the YouTube videos, the social post, my book. I look at that like the samples at Costco. You walk around, you take a nibble, you find something you like, you buy the rest of the package. If you didn't like it, you kind of move on. So if you're getting as much out of all this as you say that you're getting, then you're not getting any younger. I'm speaking now to the person who wrote this. So let's figure this thing out. let's make the investment in yourself. If you believe that I'm the right guy to help you, if you've created my own world for me, you should definitely be all in on what it is that I'm offering. Now, I'm not for everyone. I tell folks, I'm like sushi, I'm an acquired taste. So if you feel that having someone who can give you the strategy, the plans, help you with the execution, hold you accountable, constantly staying updated on what's going on in the industry, so we can make those changes, I'm the right person for you. If you're someone who just likes doing contests and wants someone to tell you how great they think you are all the time, that's probably not me. There are people like that, and that's probably the right person for you if that's what you feel that you need. But if you're wanting to have a business, remember, there's a difference between the music business and the music industry. The industry has its own set of rules they have to live by. As a music business, you don't. You're able to set up your own rules. You're able to use the exact same tools. You may not have the relationships that they have, but the exact same tools are available to each and every one of you. Also, too, your offer for podcast ideas, yes, I definitely want to hear them. More than a couple insights from your body of work. I don't think I have thoroughly gone through my body of work as thoroughly as you have. So, yes, I definitely want to have that conversation. But more importantly, let's get you off the fence. Let's cut the BS, as you said. Let's get to that next step and that next level. If you feel that having me on your team could make a difference, I want you to go to managemymusiccareer.com. That's managemymusiccareer.com. Take the manager assessment. Find out if you're ready. By the way, at the taping of this, my brand new website is up. I would love for you to check it out. Greg Wilnaugh did a fantastic job on the website. That's rickbarker.com. All the information you need about me will be there. I thank you for taking the time to do this. It means the world to me. Hannah is very impressed by your numbers. That's the type of personality she has, so she was kind of blown away by the detail. And we'll find some ways. I'm going to now get her and Maddie to create things like, from the podcast, you'll get 14 social media takeaways, 21 the category. I think that's brilliant. I think it's amazing. Also, too, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, please do so. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do so. If we don't follow each other yet on socials, hit me up. I'll hit you back. I appreciate each and every one of you. This is why I do it. Don't know how long I'm going to continue to do it. We've been kind of sitting around the office trying to figure out the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan. But while I'm here, take full advantage of me. You're not wasting my time. All right? I'll see you inside the next video. Ciao.